Ever feel like you're not allowed to spend any time on yourself? Like you're in pain, miserable, you don't have enough time because you're worried about looking after other people? In this video, I will explain, using Buddhist philosophy, how I learnt the very important lesson of prioritizing and focusing on yourself and why it's so important. Only when I understood this important lesson was I able to look after myself, feel a sense of inner peace, and be a better person for my family and friends. Please subscribe and watch this video to the end for more peace, happiness, and self-love in your own life and the lives of others. To practice self over others, first we must understand why focusing on ourselves is not selfish. Only then can we cultivate the wisdom and motivation to prioritize ourselves without feeling a sense of guilt. Think about how we feel when our attention is on others all of the time. We're working countless hours, little rest, we're getting ill, you get to start feeling burnt out. As a result, who is it that suffers? Our family suffers when we get ill. Our work colleagues suffer when we can't work. We run out of money or we lose money. Buddha teaches that we should focus inwards and not focus on others. Think, for example, of a flower in a garden. Each has its own beauty and uniqueness. No flower wishes that they bloomed faster than another or compared itself to another. There's no sense of competition in nature. In nature, all flowers bloom naturally when they are ready. Just like flowers, individuals have their own strengths, weaknesses, and virtues. When we focus on others more than ourselves, our essence starts to wilt because we aren't allowing the natural beauty of us to flow and blossom at its own pace. Now, I'm not saying that we shouldn't focus on others or help our family and friends, but when we are focusing more on our family and friends than on ourselves, we will wilt. There is a balanced amount of time that one ideally spends on themselves and ideally spends on others. I used to think when we focus on others and do what others want, we are helping them. But just like in ourselves, when we help others too much, lose focus on ourselves, and we start to wilt, others also will have to learn the hard lesson at some point in their life that they must fend for themselves. Think, for example, of a baby. When a baby is very young, it needs the help of its mother and father. But as time goes on and it goes to school and university and starts to work, that baby is now an adult who must learn how to fend for itself in the world. If we focus too much on others or help others too much, actually not only do they suffer and have to learn lessons later in life that could be more difficult for them to learn than if they were given time to learn them at a younger age, we suffer in the same way that the flower starts to wilt. Now we understand why it's important to prioritize ourselves first. How do we go about doing it? We must go inward. We must prioritize sleep, meditation, our health. Once we start practicing and cultivating simple practices like this, naturally our health will improve, our productivity will improve, and we will better be able to help others. I remember many days when I wouldn't sleep enough and I would wake up and I would become irritable, when I didn't eat well and my stomach started to hurt and I wasn't able to work or to help my family or friends. Now, think of a time when you've fallen ill. What effect has it had? Think about how you feel when you haven't slept enough, when you haven't exercised. Over time, the effects of not having your baseline looked after, not focusing on yourself, it affects you and affects everyone else. So first we must water our own plant so that we can water others. Please comment below and subscribe to my channel with your thoughts, and so I may keep sharing.